Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist, here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. So glad you're with me this week. I hope you're doing well, keeping safe, washing those hands, wearing those masks, and making good choices about, who you're around. I want everybody to come out of this safe and healthy and better. So, let's face it, most of us believe that we can't escape our thoughts, and even more than that, we believe that it's next to impossible to be separate from our thoughts, especially when what we're listening to, consciously or unconsciously, sucks. Well, I'm here to tell you that not only is it possible for you to become aware of what you think, but also you do have the capacity to separate yourself from your thoughts. And when your thoughts give you a really good ass whooping, there isn't a more opportune time to learn how to deal with them. Demi Lovato has a song out called I Love Me. And in it, she sings about being a black belt when she's beaten up on herself. It's a really amazing song with a powerful message about how each of us chooses how we not only see ourselves and our mistakes, but also how each of us is the only vaccine that can fight back against self-loathing. We compare ourselves to others. We focus on what we lack, where we've messed up, how bad that mess up was, and we project our biggest fears of rejection onto others like Linda Blair did in The Exorcist. Those of y'all who know that movie, y'all know what I'm talking about when she's on the bed and she projectile vomits. That's what we do. In our weakest moments, we easily believe what our asshole mind tells us, and just like I do, that each of us is our biggest enemy and our worst critic. So why do people find it so hard to see the negative shit that goes on in their heads as lies? Why is it easier to believe the bad stuff that we tell ourselves over and over and over again than to believe the good? Bottom line is this: wherever your focus goes, energy flows. You treat yourself how you allow yourself to be treated. Nothing more and nothing less. As I've always preached, and I don't really care to use that word, but kind of is, I do kind of preach a little bit, no amount of positive mantras will change your inner game. I promise you that, unless you truly believe what you tell yourself. We're raised by parents who bring their faults, insecurities, fears, and traumatic experiences. And you know what? It's inevitable that we're influenced either directly or indirectly by them as we grow up. It's really hard not to be. And y'all need to know that there are no perfect parents out there. Yep, some are much better than others, but we all bring our shit to the table. And what your parents did or should have done when they raised you, that's really your gift. You must now decide what you're going to do with your scars. Our parents aren't our only sources of difficulty. We then have to deal with society, our friends at a very early age, how they treat us, how and if we fit into the popular crowd or fit in any crowd, if we feel like we belong or experience rejection, how people react to us and how they categorize our worth in the social vetting process. We grow up and we start to date. Good Lord, now we have to figure out how to find somebody who will accept us in partnership. We vie for their attention. We dress a certain way to be appealing. We feel vulnerable and desperate for acceptance at times, and we all know that until we find that one person who is our true divine life partner, all other relationships will peter out because, well, they're supposed to. And we're supposed to learn from them, not keep holding on to them. Then we have to contend with our professional relationships and competing for jobs, status, and establish financial security. Who we are in this world, who are we? How do we contribute to the greater good? We should only be out there for our benefit, right? We need to eat, sleep, and breathe to make money and squash others in the process, right? We have to, again, prove our worth to experience promotion, recognition, and praise to equal our self-worth. Lastly, and most importantly, you're left with your relationship with and to yourself. This is the only relationship that matters. Because every other relationship you have, let me say the quality of all relationships that are connected to you, are based on how you see yourself and the worth that you ascribe to yourself. If you believe the negative messages that anyone outside of you has told you, you're at a complete disadvantage and you'll never be able to make the changes in your life that you want to make because you're listening to them and not your truth. You will find suffering as your only option and you're always going to feel less than. Plus, you will give that inner asshole a voice. You'll give the inner asshole that voice. You'll give it the floor all of the time. There's not going to be any room for correction, for pivoting or dreaming differently. You will become paralyzed with reminders that you've been practicing infidelity with yourself. It will haunt you until you change it. The basis of any true and good relationship with yourself is the ability to practice fidelity with yourself and awareness of yourself. Do that, and you won't experience betrayal in any aspect of your life, and more so, you won't ever be hurt by anybody else. Disappointed? Yes, because you have expectations that aren't being met, and expectations that are in the hands of somebody else to fulfill. Well, that's really kind of crazy, isn't it? You can't put expectations in the hands of anybody else. You have expectations of yourself. But at the best you can be is have no expectations from anything or anybody else. So yeah, your inner voice can be an asshole, right? As often as you allow it to. You might feel that there are mixed messages out there, that say, oh, be in flow, and then fight against your inner demons. How do you do that? There is the whole thing is that there really is no mixed message at all. There is no fight at all. Your job, if your inner voice is an asshole, is to simply notice the thoughts that you have. And here's the kicker. Your job is to not believe them. That is where choice enters the picture. The moment that you notice the thoughts is the moment that you can start to use them or discard them. The moment that you can change them or completely reconfigure them is the moment that you become aware of them. Most often, the real cue is noticing how you feel. Maybe there's a change in suddenly how you feel, right? Or maybe there's a drastic change in how you feel. Those are thought-based. Your mind is only there acting like an asshole, so you will do better by yourself. And by that, I mean treat yourself better, speak better about yourself in your life, treat your body better, and offer more value and service to yourself and others. Sure, our inner voice can be an asshole, but with every message that our inner voice has, it really does have a positive message for us. It will either compel us to do better, be better, have better, or it will push us to stay in what I call, and y'all heard this many times, the same shithole. Take lemons and make lemonade. I can't think of a cornier way to say it, but yeah, Take lemons and make lemonade. Defy your inner critic and follow your inner wisdom, which, by the way, is always positive and sits neutrally in your body. You will never get right guidance that feels bad. Never, ever, ever. Whenever you get that negative guidance, it is because of negative programming that you haven't cleared. So, start making friends with your inner asshole, that voice that tries to be critical of you, kick your ass, make you feel bad, remind you that you are less than, that you can't do something, that you're a failure. Make friends with that, because you know what? That will compel you to prove those thoughts wrong. There is much to be learned from that inner asshole critic. Lots of wisdom for you to use and to put into practice in your life by doing differently. Your inner asshole is there to serve you, to show you what you need to shore up within you. Always. There is no other purpose than to remind you of your beauty, your wholeness, and to be able to say, I will not wear the cloak of somebody else's story. I will not. I will decorate my own. I will sew my own cloak. I will add the colors and the beauty to it. I will do that. I will not wear the cloak of somebody else's thoughts and beliefs. All those thoughts, really, like, if you feel like a fraud, well, be honest with yourself and see the ways that you are. If you're not, take that cloak off. There's real truth in the thoughts that you have, and the truth isn't in the literal meaning of those. It's in the deeper and softer parts of those thoughts, the real meat and potatoes of those thoughts. So you got to look deeper than what you just what runs across your mind. All those thoughts lead to good things if you listen to them. They are prompts to change what doesn't work for you. If you hear thoughts like you aren't good enough, you can't succeed, all these thoughts that I mentioned before, that you shouldn't take a risk, or things of that nature, it is your personal responsibility and duty to do a check and balance with your gut instinct, not based on fear and negative programming or the stories that other people dump on you. Your inner asshole voice is your best ally. Go ahead and notice what it tells you, and then focus on what feels true in your gut. I guarantee that you will begin to notice the difference of what each of those feels like. Then thank your inner asshole. Say, thanks for reminding me that I got to get rid of this ridiculous, useless, painful habit of reminding myself that, I can't finish this. I can't succeed. I can't do this. Because guess what? I don't want to feel that anymore. And then be on your way. And that's how you take care of that, my dear. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.